The Rat Penat climb, averaging over 10% for 6 kilometers with sections going above 23%. This is a hellish climb that featured on the Vuelta a España in 2010 and 2013 and is far from a walk in the park. I'm done. Oh shit. The climb takes you from sea level to 600 meters of elevation in just 6 kilometers. So for some crazy reason I've decided to use this climb today as a test of my climbing ability. I've actually completed this climb only twice before, and it took me 3 attempts before I could actually make it all the way to the top. I've been recycling in this area for about 3 years now, so to say that I've only been up it twice all the way to the top, saying something, you know, when I've cycled probably over 10,000 kilometers in this area. Definitely feeling a little bit nervous about this one, but yeah, let's get out on the bike, let's see if we can make it happen.
This toe peak tire pressure gauge is an absolute lifesaver. Definitely recommend it, especially if you're running tubeless or hookless setups. Yeah, absolute lifesaver, this thing.
So we've got about 5k on the flat before we get to the climb, so a little bit of a chance to do a slight warm-up. Usually find that in cycling I need to have quite a long warm-up before I start to feel, you know, really into the ride. But yeah, so 5k is definitely not long enough, but we'll see how we go. And yeah, like I said, it took me on the 3rd attempt to make it all the way up to the top. The first 2 attempts I got about halfway up. There's a nice little viewpoint halfway up, so I stopped there and I was absolutely completely gone, like completely dead. Back then my fitness wasn't so great, and I was on my older bike, which is a aluminium frame rim brake Canyon, so still a decent bike. It was nothing to do with the bike, it was just my own fitness. But yeah, on the 3rd attempt I managed to make it up, and I was really happy that I did, despite really heavy breathing at the very top. But yeah, it was a tough day, that one. So yeah, this is gonna be, I think, my 3rd time completing it, if I do manage to complete it. But it's genuinely one of those climbs where no matter what your fitness level is, you could just be having a bad day and, you know, it doesn't work out so well for you. Stats wise, it's about 10.5% on average for, I think, about 6 kilometers. But that doesn't tell you the full picture, because I think the actual segment starts a bit before the climb, where you've got a little bit of a flattish section leading up to it, and then it kind of tapers off towards the top as well. So you've got a middle section which is really steep. Like there's a good point through the middle where it's about 1 kilometer of over 20%. Absolutely killer gradients. But it's a pretty beautiful spot as well, so hopefully we'll get some nice views as we're hanging out of our backsides. So in terms of the PR attempt, I think my fastest time up the climb is about 25 minutes, and that was probably roughly about 6 months ago. So I think my fitness should be in a better place now than it was back then. Plus that was on my old bike that I mentioned earlier, the aluminium Canyon, which was a really good bike, but a little bit heavier than the Van Rysel I'm riding on now. So that's going to make a bit of a difference. Obviously aerodynamics is a factor as well, but you know, when you're climbing over 20% gradient, I don't think aerodynamics really matters too much. It's a roughly 24-25 minute climb, so it's almost a bit like a 20-minute power test. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of power numbers I put out at the end of that, over that 25-minute segment. All right, so just another K of flat to go, and then we'll be at the beginning of the climb. Okay, so the climb starts now. Let the games begin. Definitely don't feel like I've warmed up enough. Hopefully these lower slopes at the beginning will get some blood flowing and get things going. Breathing's already picked up. Temperature's picked up as well. long way to go. Try and take it a bit steadier since we're still in the early stages. Oh, I can barely speak. Steep part now. I'm dying. I've got no more gears to go down. Oh my God, it's so perfect. Oh shit. I'm gonna walk a little bit. I can barely walk up here. Okay, back on the bike after walking that little section. Oh, no shame in that. It is really steep there, really steep. And it comes after you've already done a chunk of climbing, so the legs are finished. I don't know what it is, maybe just today I'm not on my highest of form, or maybe it's a lack of warm-up, but definitely feeling it. I'm not sure if I'm going to beat my time now, probably not. Still got a long way to go. But I think that's the hardest part mostly done. Legs are still burning. a bit more climbing to come. Let's see if we can finish strong. Oh, spender. It is just like a wall in front of me. I'm glad of these lower gears, for sure. Insane. I have to go in. Oh. Oh, I'm done. Oh. I'm done. Oh shit. Oh. Didn't quite make it to the top, but yeah, had to call it a day there. Absolutely spent. This is a brutal climb. I mean, I've been cycling for quite a while and I feel like I'm at a decent level, obviously for an amateur, definitely, but yeah, this is one of those climbs that, like, no matter what your level is, obviously apart from pro, you're gonna struggle up for sure. So yeah, didn't quite make it to the top, so now I'm just gonna rest a little bit, let my heart rate come down, and then we're gonna descend down it, head back home and take a look at some of the stats. This can be a brutal sport. It goes to show I've got some work to do on my climbing, for sure. Right, let's head down. Stopped for a second to check out the view. The best views on this climb are actually like halfway up it, so you can't really stop if you're on the way up. But yeah, you can stop on the way down. Well, if you're looking to try and crack a time, that is. Yeah, what a view. Just look how steep the way up looks from up here. See the road going all the way down there. Vamos, going. So I've made it back home, had a chance to grab a coffee and have a think about how the climb went down. Obviously gutted I didn't make it all the way to the top, but yeah, sometimes that's just how it goes in cycling. Despite not finishing the challenge, I still wanted to put the video out there, just to show the reality of cycling, of training. It's a journey, it's a process. You know, there's always going to be ups and downs, but yeah, I definitely need to work on my climbing. There could have been a number of reasons as to why I wasn't able to do it today. It's a really, really tough climb. It's one of those climbs where everything, like, despite your fitness levels, everything needs to be on track and on point just to even make it to the top. So everything outside of actually cycling, like what did you have for breakfast, how did you feel, you know, the night before, did you have a good night's sleep? For me, it's been quite a busy week of work, so that can also play into it. So yeah, so many different factors that could have caused that. But anyway, still happy to have given it a good old crack, and yeah, it gives me motivation to give it another go at some point in the future. So let's take a look at some of the stats from the ride. So the total average power for the whole ride was 160 watts, but obviously that includes descending for a large portion where I wasn't doing anything, so that will bring that average down. But yeah, despite not actually completing the segment, I did actually set my best power for 1 minute, 5 minutes and 8 minutes, but then my 20-minute power wasn't even in the top 3. So that goes to show that, you know, I probably gave it maybe too much at the beginning of the climb, and put in too much of an effort there, and then couldn't sustain the power over a longer period. So that's something to note, is maybe I need to take that first part a lot slower and save some energy and some power for the second half of that climb. Gutted I didn't get to do it. Happy to get out on the bike and ride. Goes to show I've got more training to do. So on we go. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and chat to you soon. Bye bye.